going to be talking about the subject of forgiveness, and I'm going to be sharing with you from when God created the world, such that you have an understanding when we talk about pain and hurts. So initially, when God created the world, the plan that God had was for men to experience unconditional love and acceptance. However, men fell, sin crept into the world. And because of that, sometimes instead of experiencing that love that God had initially planned, sometimes you experience hurts, sometimes you experience pain, and sometimes envy as well through relationships. God is a relational father. You find in the book of Genesis, you'd come in the cool of the day and you'd converse and talk to Adam. And when he introduces himself to us, he introduces himself as a loving father to us. The Pharisees, they came to Jesus and they said, "What is the greatest commandment, teacher?" And Jesus said, "Love the Lord God with all your heart, with everything that you have. And the second is love your neighbor as yourself." In all these examples that I'm giving, which are biblical, you see the aspect of relationships. We are wired to connect together in relationships. We thrive when we're in communities. But that is the very same place where hurt is experienced. God did not leave us with that. In his wisdom, he gave us a tool for us to be able to overcome the hurt, the pains that we experience in relationships. And that is one word which is called forgiveness. It is easier said, however, than to actually practice it. Forgiveness is a choice. It's a decision. Sometimes, depending on the severity of the pain, may involve a process. That process enables you to be able to let go of the pain. At the background where we're talking about the aspect of unforgiveness, there's pain, there's hurt. And sometimes that is what you hold on to and you find yourself failing to release it. So that is what we focus on when we're talking about the aspect of forgiveness and healing. So processing your pain involves processes or steps rather that one can undertake for them to be able to let go of the pain. The first thing is what is called awareness. Kuziva kuti chii chaitika, ndatadzirwa chii, ndikurwadziwa sei, is the knowledge of what has happened. I am in pain, or ndatadzirwa chakati, munhu uyu aba mari yangu, munhu uyu aita zvakati kwandiri. Just that knowledge, takes you a step closer for you to be able to process the pain. We also talk about emotions, where you get in touch with your emotions. And with this, you are identifying exactly what you're feeling. There's nothing wrong for you to say, "Ndiri kunzwa hasha, ndiri kunzwa kutsamwa, ndiri kunzwa kusuwa, mumwoyo mangu muri kurwadza nezvaitika." There is nothing wrong in saying those things because they are reflecting exactly what is happening in your heart. One is to be able to identify what has happened. One is to be able to know the feelings or the emotions rather that they're experiencing as a result of the pain. I'm feeling hurt, I'm angry, or I'm feeling fearful in this particular moment. All these are necessary steps for you to be able to navigate and walk through your healing journey. We talk about grief. Grief is an emotional response to loss. But for one to be able to identify kuti chii chandarasikirwa nacho nekuda kwechiitiko chekurwadziwa chaitika mukati meupenyu hwangu. And this differs for many people. We can be talking about things such as, monetary value chaiyo. Munhu auya akakubira mari wangu nayo. Quantify it. Ndabirwa $500, ndabirwa $100. As a result of my father not being present in my life ndichikura, I'm grieving for the loss or the affection of a parent or of a father in my life. Where I could have gone to university yakadai, ndakazoshairwa mari, ndikazogumira chikoro pakati. Identify with your loss. What did you lose as a result of the pain or this hurt that came into your life? All these things that I am elaborating on are necessary for you to actually be able to walk through that journey of forgiveness. Lastly, we have what is called letter writing, where you actually write a letter to the offender. You take a chair, you take your book, you take your pen, and these processes I'm teaching you such that, even uri kumba kwako, you're in a position to be able to know how to go through them. Uriwega. Write down a letter to the person as if wakagara naye, wakatarisana naye. You name what happened. You're now bringing everything together. You name exactly what happened, what hurt, what had happened, where you're feeling the pain, what you do not appreciate about what happened. You're naming the emotions as well. As a result of this that you did to me, I felt sad, I felt depressed, I felt angered. You also put in the loss that you experienced as a result of that hurt. This enables you to come to a place where you are processing your emotions, you're processing the hurt, you're processing the pain, and at the end, it allows you to be able to let go of this pain. With this letter, you don't necessarily need to post it, but it's a letter that you can actually present to God and give a prayer at the end. We cannot talk about the subject of forgiveness without looking to God. It's impossible. We are able to forgive only through God. So you hand that letter over to God, talking to him as a loving, just father about the pain and the hurts that you encountered because of this person maybe causing this particular harm to you. Thank you.